to film this video. I thought it would be fun to really, for you guys to get to know who I am a little bit. So I'm filming 50 things about me. And the thing that was so interesting when I was writing down the things, because I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget, is I just couldn't come up with 50 things that you wanted to know about me. But I did the best I could. I got 40-ish things. And maybe you'll know me a little better after this video. Maybe not. I hope you will. So let's get into it. And I did write these down, so I will be referencing my list. So the first thing about me is that I love candles. I love all kinds of candles, all kinds of scents. I kind of more am into the Caribbean, fruity type of scents. But my sister got me these wax melts. It wasn't a candle, but it was a wax melt, and it was something like sandalwood. And I do love sandalwood. I love the peppermints in Christmas time. And I love to have just candles all over my house. So if you ever come in, you're normally going to see a couple candles burning in different places. We've had to move some things up higher since we got the puppy. We always have candles burning of some kind. The next thing is I hate the word addict or obsessed because I just feel like those are negative words. But I am a planner person. How about that? That's a better word. I love planners. I love calendars and journals and different things because I'm a write it downer. I love to write stuff down. My truth is, if I don't write it down, I'm going to forget. And then I love all the things that come with the planners, the stickers and the jewels and all the fun things you can use inside the planner. So this year, I actually am now using the Happy Planner, and I love it. I do. I'm not very fond of the vertical layout, and I actually like lines in my planner so that I can write things because I feel like I don't write straight without the lines. But I'm dealing with it. I'm taking a lot of notes on the notes pages and the grid sheets. So I'm not necessarily putting too much information in the calendar part, but I'm taking lots of notes on those other pages. The next thing is I love bags. I have like this slight obsession with bags, and I'll go to conferences, and I have actually had to stop myself from getting a bag. You know how you go down the row and everybody's got something and everybody's giving away a bag, and I would come home with a zillion bags. I think that's just a teacher thing. We just have to have a bag of some kind. So I've actually tried to stop collecting bags, but I do love them from lots of places. Y'all pray for me. I love to cook. I absolutely love to cook. It's my favorite thing to do. I love to cook all the time. I just was raised like that. I was raised on a small farm. Hey, that gives me another one. I didn't have that on my list. I was raised on a really, really, really small farm. We had chickens and pigs, and we had ducks and dogs and rabbits, and we actually had to get out there and feed the animals, pick up the eggs and do stuff like that. My grandparents garden. They had a huge garden, and we would actually be out there on Sunday mornings picking collards to cook for Sunday dinners. So I believe that that's where I got my love of cooking from, because my mother cannot cook. It's a bad day. She stayed. She came for Christmas. This is such a true story, and I feel horrible as a child. I feel horrible as a daughter, but this is such a true story. So she stayed with us during Christmas and over into some over into January. And I cook every night of the week. But it just so happened that I had left out. I'd been searching for Weight Watchers recipes, and this is when I really first started doing the Weight Watchers. And I was searching for recipes. Found a recipe for stuffed pork chops. I think it was going to be like 4 smart points. And I have been waiting to cook those pork chops all day. I've been at work and I was thinking about those pork chops. And I took them out before I left for work so they would be thawed. But we had to go to Taekwondo, and I knew that it would be a minute before I could cook them, when I got home. And when I got home, y'all, I feel horrible. And I had to go and take a time out. The smell of vinegar hit me when I first walked in the door over the smell of the candles in the house that were burning. And I walked into my kitchen, and my beautiful thick cut pork chops that I was going to put a little hole in and stuff in my stuffing, because I could have stuffing on Weight Watchers' Smart Point system, were boiling. They were boiling. And I had to go in my room and close the door and just take a time out. So, it was not nice. I ate them. I did. I ended up eating them. But I was not. I have territorial issues in my kitchen. I really just I love it. And I'd much rather you just sit with me and talk to me while I'm cooking than to have you cook for me. I'd rather just serve other people. I think that's what it is. And for me, serving people usually ends up on the, some side of the stove. I'm usually cooking for somebody. I love to entertain. I love to have parties. And I collect party wear and entertainment pieces from the Goodwill or the Restores. I actually go in there looking for pieces that I could use. I actually remember going to, we went to a friend's house after church one Sunday. The kids and I went. And everybody brought something. So I had dessert for that week. And what I ended up doing was I bought these little shooter glasses from the Restore. I think I paid $0.25 a piece. And I'm not a drinker, but I just thought, oh man, I could make some kind of dessert in that glass. So I ended up making a brownie shooter where I made a pan of brownies. I cut the brownies out the size of the shooter glass, stuffed it in, and then I put a cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake on top of the brownie and chilled them. And they were such a big hit at the lunch. And those are just things I love to entertain and have parties and have people in my house. It's fun for me. And again, it's my way of serving people. I like to have coffee ready or coffee on. If you come over and there is not coffee made, you'll probably see me work my way into the kitchen and put on a pot of coffee. I'll probably take out something dessertish if I have it at the house that we can snack on, or maybe I'll pull down a bag of pretzels or make some hummus or something. I just want people to feel welcome when they come into my home. I love accessories. Accessories are my favorite thing. I like to wear makeup, but I don't have to wear makeup, but I'm not going out of the house without my earrings at least. And I love to wear bracelets. Those are my, this cuff has probably been one of my favorite pieces. I wear it almost every day. And I love the neckwear is a fave of mine, but I love dangly earrings and things that jingle. If I don't wear the cuff because I like a wide band on my arm, I'll wear multiple sets of bangles because it's just my personality. If you're into 31, the paparazzi dot is kind of, to me, my personality. It's just like, oh! and I just try not to overwhelm people with my personality, but that's just my personality. I usually am pretty happy. I'm pretty upbeat. I just, I enjoy life. After so many years of not enjoying life, I just tend to enjoy it so much better now. And that's just my personality. And I love it. Let me see. Oh, I didn't wear makeup. Y'all gonna laugh at me. Maybe, maybe not. Because of the way I grew up with my grandparents. My grandparents were 60 and 55 years old when I went to live with them as a 10-year-old little girl. And I was raised very old-fashioned. I lived on a farm. I can shuck corn. I can slop hogs. I can dress a deer or a rabbit or any type of other furry creature that may be lurking around somewhere. My grandparents were very old-fashioned. We did not wear makeup. We didn't dress in fashionable clothes. It was hand-me-downs, and sometimes we had to wear clothes, 2 days in a row to school, and you go and you feel very embarrassed, but that's just how you grew up in a really small town. Everybody knew everybody. But my grandparents did not approve of makeup. It just wasn't something we did. So I didn't wear makeup for the very first time until I was 23 years old. And it was like, oh my, I think I might like this. But I started off very small. I actually did a Mary Kay makeover with a friend of mine from church. And I started off, when I initially was going to buy something, you know, they want to sell you the skincare and this product and that product. And I said, no, I'm just going to do the eyes and the lips. That was all I would wear forever. And then finally I added in the foundation. And now I do a little bit more, mainly on Sundays. But I didn't wear makeup until I was 23 years old. And another thing, which probably will gross out half the viewing population, I didn't shave my legs until I was a grown adult woman. My grandparents just did not agree that you shaved any portion of your body for any reason. We grew up with the mindset your hair is your glory and you don't shave it off. I used to have very, very long hair. I mean, mid-back long hair. So, of course, when I cut my hair, it was a big deal to everybody. My mother cried, and my father probably cried secretly. He probably didn't tell anybody that he cried, but I had beautiful, beautiful, beautiful long hair. And one day I'll share a story about my hair. I won't share that in this video, but I'll share it soon. Soon I will, because I think it's time. But you didn't shave anything, so I was an adult. I met my ex-husband when I was 15, and we got married when I was 19. So pretty much that is really the only man I've ever known. But yeah, so I got married at 19, and we were married for a long time. We were together and married for quite a long time. So, let's see. In my family, on my father's side, I'm the first college graduate. And on my mother's side, I think I'm the second college graduate. I think I have an older cousin that graduated first, and then I graduated. And after us two, I have a cousin who passed away in 2001. She was in college, and when she passed, she did receive an honorary degree. But I think that we're it. We have one additional cousin. She's my second cousin, who is graduating in May, and then my daughter is graduating next May, and then she'll go on for her master's. I think she'll be the only family member on either side to have a master's degree. I've been on my own since I was 17 years old. 2 weeks before I turned 18, some things happened with my mom, and we were going to be homeless. One of my teachers went down to the Public Housing Authority with me and vouched for me because we were living in public housing at that time. I was living with my grandparents for a long time, but then I went back to live with my mom, and we lived in public housing. But until right around I was 17, I was going to be 18 in 2 weeks. So one of my teachers was still we are still friends to this day. She's actually a mother figure in my life. Went down with me to the Public Housing Authority, and she backed me with her name. She said, listen, I understand that she is not supposed to be here. I understand that she has to be 18 before she can get her own apartment, but she will be 18 in 2 weeks. Please let her stay. And those people worked with me. They let me stay there, and I have never had any problems living there. Was even told if I ever needed to come back, because I was such a good tenant, to come back, and there would always be a place for me there. So I've been on my own since I was 17. I'm very independent in that sense. I can take care of me. I can take care of my children. It wasn't a fun experience at the time, but it was a growing experience for me. And again, I'm going to share some other things later. Let me see. I've been a single mom for 8 years. In 2009, I believe it was, 2009, my ex-husband decided he wanted to leave our family. And one day he just left. Didn't say why, didn't give an explanation, just packed a bag, came out of the bedroom with a little gray bag over his shoulder, and walked out the front door. And it's been me and the kids ever since then. But we've done well. It was hard in the beginning to really get my bearings because, again, this is the man I've been with since I was 15 years old. So how am I going to do this on my own? And I actually believe that it was the Lord. It was the Lord who brought us to the place where we live. And I had met a wonderful church. And my church family just said to me, listen, if you want to go back to where you came from, we'll help you get back there. But if you want to stay here, we'll help you here. And I just decided I wasn't moving my kids anymore. I was staying put, and they were there with me all the way. And I just had my youngest son. He was just about 4 months old, and he'll be 8 in April. So, you know, I had those kids I had to raise. I didn't have any support system back where I was. So this worked out, and I'm very thankful that we've been here. God has blessed us since we've been here. I love to organize and plan events as a hobby. It's just something I like. Although, and this is another thing, so I'm adding another thing to my list. I didn't go to my first wedding until I was an adult. I didn't attend one wedding until I was an adult woman. And it wasn't even my wedding because we got married in our living room. You know, we got married at home. It wasn't something, my husband, he was not saved at the time. I was not living the life that I should have been living. I knew God and I loved the Lord, but I was just not living right. And so we got married in our home. And I just didn't, I'd never been to a wedding before, but I love to plan any events, birthday parties, baby showers, weddings. I just love to coordinate and host those. I just it just works here. And I put it down on paper, and it works on paper. I've done the Easter parties. I've done the majority of the Christmas parties over the last 8 years at the church, and all events at the church that have been just in-house events. But I just love doing it. It's just fun for me, and it brings me joy. On that note, I love to organize. I love clean spaces, clean lines. I don't really like modern style. I really love country chic, or farmhouse style is a favorite as well. But I like things in their place. I like things to be in order. It just helps my mind focus a little bit better. So I'm an organization freak. My favorite food is macaroni and cheese. Homemade baked macaroni and cheese. I could eat pans and pans of it all the time, every day. I love homemade macaroni and cheese. Let's see. Red is my favorite color of all time. If I wear nail polish, it's red. I do wear red lipstick. I love the color red. All of my clothes, a lot of my clothes are red or black, but I love the color red. Red makes me feel, I don't know how it makes me feel, strong and powerful. Not powerful, that's the wrong word. It makes me feel strong and beautiful. And I haven't always felt that in my life. So, and it looks good with my skin tone. I just like the color red. I love. Like is such an understatement of how much I love this particular thing. I love country music. I am a country music girl. Reba McEntire is one of my favorites. Carrie Underwood. I love Gretchen Wilson. My favorite of all time is Tim McGraw, and I love Faith Hill. But I love Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw just does it for me. And I love Rascal Flatts. I love country music. For a long time, I didn't listen to it, though, because I was single, and country music makes me want to be in love, and I'm not in love. So in order to keep my mind from going to places that are not pleasing to the Lord, in my opinion, I just didn't listen to it for a long time, especially right after my separation and divorce. You know, I was missing my ex-husband, and just different things, and some things I just had to not do for a long time. But now I go right back. I love to listen to country music. I grew up on Hee Haw, watching that with my grandfather. I love Western movies. That wasn't on my list. I'm adding that. I love Westerns. I love Big Valley and Little House on the Prairie, all those things I grew up on. But my grandfather would watch Western movies, and I would sit on his lap. I remember that like it was yesterday. He would say, "Come here, honey," and I'd sit on his lap, and we just watch those Western movies for hours and hours and hours. Probably first fell in love with Charles Bronson with my grandfather, watching his movies. So, you know, my grandfather was my favorite person ever in the world. He loved me more than anybody else in the world. When people didn't love me, he loved me. I missed him. I miss him a lot, and I know he would be proud of me now. Okay. This is funny. So, in my love of country music and westerns, I think that I should marry a cowboy. I've always wanted to marry a cowboy. And I'm just waiting for him to ride up on his little horse and just take me away into the sunset. But that's so honest. Like, I'm going to move to Texas because I know that Chuck Norris is there. And I actually have this love thing for Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is like mine. He should really be mine because I love him very much. I'm sure he loves his wife, but I love him very much. I've always loved him. I don't know why, but I just think he's great. See, I would love to be a stay-at-home mom. I know I have to work now, and I love my job. That has nothing to do with me loving the work that I do. I absolutely love being a teacher. I've never had a plan B to be anything other than a teacher, but I know if I had the ability to stay home, then I would be able to do more things with my children. I would be able to homeschool them during the day instead of the sitter, you know, they're at the sitters during the day and then we homeschool at night. It would just free up some extra time. I'd be able to volunteer and we'd be able to go and help people in our community, you know, find different avenues where we could be of more help and service to the people around us. And I would host prayer meetings and mommy groups in my home and just, you know, do things that I feel would be fun for me as far as serving other people. But I know that's not the season of life I'm in, and I'm okay with that. 10 short years, and I'll be able to retire. And that is amazing. So I am okay with where I am in life. I think I would just love it. It would probably give me more time to clean my house, which I do absolutely love doing. I have been in ministry training for about 5 years now. I did my very first initial sermon in 2000, we're in 17 now, maybe 2014. And I go to a non-denominational church. We believe in Jesus. We believe in the Bible. But it's not traditional church like I grew up in a traditional church. And so in traditional church, you know, I would get my minister's license and all of that. And I would have all of those documents that say I am a minister. At the church I attend now, I am a minister just without those papers. Does that make sense? Now, my biological father is a bishop in South Carolina where he lives. And when I go to his church, I am received as a minister of the gospel under his bishop title. And so I have sat in the pulpit. I have worn clergy attire. When I'm with him, I operate under him when I'm there. And when I'm here, I operate under my senior pastor. And they work together in order to help train me for the ministry. So they work in collaboration. I don't go down and I don't spend a lot of time with my dad, but if he asks me to come to things or he wants me to be a part of a specific service just to help train me, the very first funeral I ever was a part of as far as official clergy was under my father. My aunt passed away and he allowed me to be on program with him. And my stepmom as well was on program. So she is a minister as well. And on my father's side, there's a long line of ministers as well. So I'm falling into that line of ministers. Here at home, I do preach at my church, and I do teach different studies. And then on every Wednesday night, I have a ladies' Bible study group that we meet via phone line. And I'll leave the telephone number in the description in case anybody wants to ever join us. It is a ladies group, so be mindful of that. And we meet every Wednesday night, and it's a bunch of women. We meet on the phone line, and it's different people from different places going, and we're in different stages of life. A couple of the ladies are way older than I am. Some of them are younger than I am. We have different people just come in and out as they see fit. And we've been meeting now for about 2 years. We meet every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you want to join us, I'll leave the number and the link in the description box. I'm the firstborn of 7 children. My father has 7 children, and I'm the firstborn of them all. Let's see. Most people that I know would dub me the budget queen and the coupon queen. I don't know how much of a queen title I can take. I do know that when my children were hungry, and I was trying to figure out how to feed them. My children have never been hungry. Let me fix that. When I was trying to figure out how to keep my children from being hungry, when my ex left us, I prayed and God said coupons. After he said coupons, he opened up a way for me to get $100. I didn't have $100 to my name. And somebody gave me $100. I can't even remember where it came from. And with that $100, I signed up for the Financial Peace University class from Dave Ramsey that we did at our church. And I took those principles from Dave Ramsey and his cash envelope system and budgeting and couponing, and I just ran with it. I learned the strategies, and it hasn't been perfect over the past 5-6 years, but it's been close. I'm trying the best I can. Now the only debt I have other than my home. Okay. I love to clean my house. I can find all types of things that need cleaning, and then all types of things that I didn't clean that still need more cleaning. My sister gets very angry with me. She said, all you do is clean your house. I don't know that that's all I do, but I do like a clean house. So I try to clean it, and my schedule's so busy during the week that it's hard for me to do the deeper things until the weekend. And so I could be all day on Saturday cleaning, but it's because I just pick up during the week, and we try to keep it pretty tidy. But to get some of those deeper areas, I have to do that on the weekends because it's the only time that I really have to be able to do it. So I do love to clean my house, just saying. Okay, this is right up there with Chuck Norris, so y'all don't judge. I love Rocky. Rocky is my favorite movie of all time. Rocky with Sylvester Stallone, Adrian. Yes, I love Rocky. And I loved all the Rocky movies until they made Rocky 5. Now, they made Rocky 5. And there's nothing wrong with Rocky 5 until, as you get into the movie, you realize that Adrian is dead. I'm not watching Rocky 5. I cried when I found out that Adrian was dead. I was like, are you kidding me? How did she die? I think she died in real life. That's probably why she wasn't in that movie. I can't remember. But I refused to watch it. And I cried. And I am not watching it. I'm just not. She should be in the movie. So I must stop at Rocky 4. If I do a marathon, I'm stopping at Rocky 4. I'm not going to Rocky 5. It just is not going to make me happy. So I'm not watching it. The end. One of my favorite things to do would be to go to Nashville and to go to the Grand Ole Opry. Again, I grew up very country with my grandparents, and my grandfather loved Hee Haw. And I grew up watching Minnie Pearl and all of those guys on stage at the Grand Ole Opry, and I would love to go and visit it and take my kids. Who knows what the summers will hold for us. I do plan to get there. Haven't been, but I do plan to get there. I love Dolly. I just love country. I'm just country. I'm a country girl at heart. I was born in Brooklyn, but I am Southern. In my spirit, I'm Southern. I just know that. No questions. I already know that I'm Southern. Let's see. Okay, this is interesting, right? So I've gotten so many comments about my home. Oh, you have such a beautiful home. Oh, how did you put this together or that together? Prior to 3 years ago, I couldn't decorate. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't see how things would go together or how this would fit with this and that. And then when I was married, my ex-husband did the decorating. It was not something I was allowed to do. And I say allowed because he just didn't allow it. But I prayed and I said, Lord, I want to have a home that is cozy and people love to come here and it's nice and I want my stuff to match. And God, again, in his sovereignty, just downloaded in my brain how to put things together. And I joined a couple of Facebook groups that helped me decorate. I researched on decorating, and my home has been a development of that prayer. And I have almost decided to take an interior design class just because I want to learn. I don't want to just throw things together, although that's fine and it's worked for me. I actually want to know the process and know how this pattern matches this pattern and these lines. One of my favorite, I'm adding this to my list too because it wasn't on there. One of my favorite people to watch decorate is Joanna Gaines from Magnolia down in Waco, Texas. Fixer Upper, if you've watched her. I love Joanna's style. And then there's another lady that I love. Her name is, I can't remember her first name, but she has Ropes and Design on YouTube. I love her style. One of my favorite YouTubers is At Home with Nikki. I love her style. And one of my friends was watching one of her videos and she said, Shakema, when I saw that video, I thought of you. I love a classic, clean look. That's how I'm always going to love things. It's just my personality. But anyway, up until 3 years ago, I couldn't put it together, couldn't figure out how to put it together. Now, and the Lord just downloaded that into my head and it works for me. I know my body does not show this, but I love to weight train and go to the gym. I love to work out. It is one of my favorite things. Now I have to be motivated to do it. And I think getting older and feeling the growing pains and not being able to get the weight off as easily at this stage of life makes it a little bit more challenging. But since I've been working out at the gym this last time and I work out with the ladies group, it's so much fun. We get together and we're all in there just trying to do the best we can. You know, we having stories of when we used to be young and how it was. And now none of us are young anymore, but we're giving it our best effort. And it's just built camaraderie between the group. And we all want to work out with each other now. So our trainer, she's putting us in there. You know, she's like, oh, I'll put you in for next week. And we're all in. And we want new people to come and train with her. But we don't want anybody to get our spot. So I do love to go to the gym. And one of the things I do at the gym is I people watch. Because if I don't know how to use a machine, then I'll watch one of the guys who's like really into their fitness use it. And that's how I figure out how to use a machine. I'm like, okay, Shakema, you just saw this guy use it. Now this is what he did. So you just go do that. I love the classes. Body pump is one of my favorite classes to do. It's a 1 hour long weight class where you work every muscle group of your body. That's one of my favorite classes. And so now at the gym, I'm strength training 3 days a week. And I'm doing adult taekwondo and kickboxing 2 days a week. And it is starting to pay off for me. I love to cook, but I find it extremely hard to meal plan because I cook based around my coupon deals. So some people will meal plan and then shop. I have to shop and then plan because the way my budget is set up, I only have a specific amount of money that I can spend every week on groceries. So I shop first, then I see what I have, and then I put together meals that way. So to me, it's a backwards process in my head, but it works well. So I find in my planner, I'm not so easily to put my meals in ahead of time. I always have to go and backtrack. And I feel a little bit bad about that because I see all these people on YouTube and they meal plan ahead. And I'm like, I wish I could do that. But I just actually have to end up writing down what I made after I make it. This is so true. I love the grocery store more than anything else in this world. I love to go to the grocery store. And I just love to shop my grocery store the same way every time I go. Up this aisle, down this aisle, up this aisle, down this aisle. And I'm looking for those deals. And I'm looking for, I don't know. I try to explain it to somebody. some people love clothing shopping. It's not my favorite thing to do. I know I have to be dressed, so I will shop for clothes. But I get the rush of finding the best deals and getting the final total after coupons. And it's like $150, and now I'm down to $50. It's out of pocket. I'm like, yes. You know, it's a sense of accomplishment for me being able to get those deals. So I love to shop at the grocery store. If I had a dream job, I could probably be a personal grocery shopper. But I do not like ordering groceries online. I don't like other people touching my groceries. Not just my produce. I don't like other people touching my groceries. That's just a Shakema-ism. I'm almost positive. I'd rather you not touch it because you might not pick up what I would pick up. So I'd rather just do that for myself. I think those online grocery things are good for people who don't mind people touching their groceries. I just don't appreciate it. So I don't mind going to the grocery store. It's one of my favorite things. My children, on the other hand, do not love it. They love to eat. They just don't love to shop. But I do. I can make biscuits, but I don't like the dough inside the biscuits. So you know how you cook the biscuit and then you open it up and you put the meat and the cheese and the eggs and stuff. If I eat a biscuit, I have to pull all of the dough out and give it to my children. They'll eat that inside stuff. My oldest daughter will eat bread raw. She will just ball it, take a slice of bread, make a ball out of it, and just eat it like that. Totally grosses my life out. I don't like toast that's a light toast. I don't like waffles that are light waffles. I like them extra crispy, close to burnt. And every time I go to IHOP and ask for that, the waitress looks at me really strange. Like, if I bring you a burnt waffle, they're going to fire me. And I'm like, lady, please, just make it extra crispy, close to burnt. It's how I want it, and I'm okay with that. I think it's just a texture thing. There's just some things I cannot chew or eat. Tomatoes is one of them. I can't eat raw onion because of the crunch, or celery. I can't eat raw celery because it makes that crunching noise and I can hear the crunch, but I can eat carrots just fine. So now I have to saute onions and saute celery in order to eat them. But I love them, just can't do them raw. And it's because I hear it. And I'm like, this is not right. The sound is wrong. But I can do carrots and broccoli with no problem. I don't know what it is. I won't eat tomatoes, but I will eat tomato sauce. I won't eat chunky salsa because I don't like the little bits of tomatoes in the salsa. So if I eat salsa, it has to be more smooth or liquidy. I just can't eat that other stuff. Okay, I love to cook, but I'm not necessarily one who likes to get her hands in the raw meat of it all. So sometimes I'll wear gloves, and I'll just use the kitchen safe gloves to manipulate the food. I just don't like some things. I don't like meatloaf, and I made salmon patties last night. It wasn't my fave to kind of touch all of that stuff, but I do love to cook, and so I use a lot of spoons to help stir things up. But sometimes you do have to get your hands in there, and I'm okay doing it. It's just not my favorite thing to do. Let's see, my dream job. If I had a dream job, I would love to be a house mother to pregnant teenage girls, to help them learn how to take care of their babies, take care of their homes, do their budgets, figure out their money, and then give them some skills to maybe go out and find a job. So that is what I would ideally love to do in my next role, is to actually have a home, maybe where my children and I stay on the top floor, and then the house is for the girls, and you know, just pour my life into them and help them be all they can be, give them skills that they would need to help them get to the next level in their life. Another dream job of mine is I would love to be a personal assistant. I'm very organized minded and very task oriented. So I can keep your calendar. I can set up appointments. I can talk on the phone. I can do all of those things. And I do operate in a position like that. I'm the recording secretary for a state association in another job that I do. And so I do that extremely well, or at least I'm proficient at it. Done it now for the past 10 years, and I just think I would love to be able to keep somebody on track. and make sure that their day is running smoothly. So you're supposed to be, telling someone you have this appointment, you need to be here at this time. I don't want to be a gopher, but I realize that comes along with the job. But I would really love to help someone schedule out their life. It's just that organization in me that is working. I love cookbooks and recipe cards. I collect them, but I find it very difficult to use them. And that's pretty much because a lot of people ask me, but where do you come up with your recipes from? I have no clue. I'll see a few items and I'll be thinking, okay, what can I do with this? And out of nowhere, it just downloads into my head. My sister told me, she said, girl, you could be on Chopped. And I've never even watched that show before. She's like, yeah, I'll put you on Chopped. But I just like to cook, and I see things and I just come up with something. Sometimes it works out, other times not so good. My kids don't complain. They just go with it. They are my guinea kids, and they let me try new things with them. Like my youngest daughter was a side eye. We had salmon patties last night, and she was like, but after she tried them, she was like, oh, Mom, these salmon patties were so good. And we had them on toasted hamburger buns, and she just thought they were so good. So, I love the cookbooks, though. I do keep them, and I have recipe cards. I'm actually trying to get to a point now where I'm writing down my recipes or things I come up with in my head. Okay, I sing at church every week, and I've sang for years. But the very first time I went to an audition to sing, I could not get the words out. I have this, I'm not sure what it's called other than stage fright, but there are times, usually every time, that I black out. Even though I'm still standing up, I'm looking at you and I can function, I black out to what I'm supposed to say or what I'm supposed to sing. And it's because of the nervousness. And I've prepped, I know my words, I know my songs. A song can play, or the music minister can start playing a song, and I don't know the title of it, but I know the song, and I'll just go with it. And other people are like, what song is this? What song is this? Oh, this is this song. And I can do that, but anytime I have to sing a solo by myself, I go black. And it's like, and the very first time I had to sing a solo at this church, I remember, and I've been at my church now almost 9 years, I remember the guy who was singing the other part with me, he had to stand right beside me. I mean, his shoulder to shoulder with my shoulder. And he couldn't move, because if he moved, I forgot my words. And he wasn't telling me the words. I just needed that close proximity of him there. And I think probably up until about 3 years after I first sang with the group, every Sunday I would have to go in the bathroom and really get myself collected, because I was going to throw up. It's just that frightening for me to be out front like that. I'm okay in the background. I really am okay. I'm a background girl. I have leadership qualities and tendencies, and I can do a lot of things, but I don't have to be center stage. And so even with being a minister, people say, well, you preach. Yeah, but I don't have to preach. I'm okay teaching Bible studies and different things like that. If I'm afforded the opportunity to preach, then I will do that, and I love it. But even with preaching, I'll have notes, and I have to make my notes really big, because if I don't, I forget what's on my page, because I just have that frightness about being on stage. So that's a weird thing. And then, after about 3 years of singing with a group, I really did ask them to pray for me. I said, y'all, I don't know what this is. Y'all got to pray for me. And the Lord broke that a lot in my life. It doesn't happen too often now, but it does happen every now and again. So I'm thankful for the Lord helping me in that. I love to wear wraps and shawls around my shoulders, and sometimes I'll even wear them around my head, just because I like them and they make me feel pretty. When I go to my dad's church and I sit on the front row, I still wear a lap cloth. because it's just out of respect for the pulpit that I wear a cloth, even if I'm wearing a long skirt. And I this wasn't on my list either, but I prefer to wear long dresses or long skirts. That's just my personal preference. It's not my religious belief. I just like for all of my body parts to be covered if possible. And so I do appreciate wearing those long skirts. So I still will cloth my knees. Even when I go to visiting churches with other minister friends or different things, I will always cover. Let me see. Oh, yeah. I put this. This was the last thing I put up there. I'm not sure how many I have now because I didn't have 50 to start with, but I threw a few in there. But somewhere down in this big girl body, like secretly in the back of my mind, I would love to be a dancer. Like, you know, Debbie Allen, Alvin Ailey Dance Company dancer. Like, get in there, girl, and do that. Gosh, I love the art of dance and theater and acting and all of that. I would love to fully express that in dancing. And I toyed around with an adult dance class, you know, maybe a jazz class or a tap class or maybe ballroom dancing as well. I have not done it yet, but I toyed around with it in my mind. So that was just kind of a secret wish. And also, I'd love to just be a youth pastor, work with the youth. And I've coordinated 3 youth dance teams. I've coordinated 2 step teams, and I've also been a cheer coach. I was a step team leader for 6 years, and I was a cheer coach for 4 years. So I've done that before. Gosh, there's so many things I have done, and I asked my children, I said, look over this list and tell me if I got everything. I don't know if I did or not, but these are just some things about me, some of my Shakema-isms, some of the things that I thought you might find interesting about me or help you understand me a little bit better. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you'll just, you know, give us a thumbs up and let us know. Leave us a comment. I read all the comments and I try to respond back to the comments as I'm able to, because I never want to take it for granted that I didn't respond. I do realize, and I've now started putting this in my description, that I realize you people who watch YouTube videos can spend their time with anybody they want. You know, nobody says you have to come to One Mom's page. But because you do, we are honored that you do. And we don't want to take it lightly or for granted that you come. I don't want to ever assume that you're going to come to my page. And when you do and you leave us a comment, I do want to try my best to get to those and respond in kind, because it just helps me build relationships with the people who are watching. So I do want to thank you for stopping by. I do want to thank you for listening to me talk and getting to know me a little bit better. I do want to thank you for always liking our videos and leaving us a comment, and especially for subscribing to our channel. If you know any single mom that is struggling to make things work in their life, if you know any woman who is struggling with their weight and could use a little bit of encouragement, it would really help us out, or it would make us proud that you would say, hey, why don't you go to YouTube and check out this lady over there, because she's been through some of the same things you've been through. So anyway, I'm gonna sign off here for now. Thank you again for joining